cannot tell something more features about those two cells. So we actually did similar things to the stock prices. Next, please. So we also calculate the first four moments, which is mean, standard deviations, unis, and kurtosis. However, based on our study, we did not actually study a lot of the moments for the stock volume. So the most important thing is to look at the mean and median of both Google and Apple stocks. What I want you guys to notice here is that Apple stock trading volumes are basically 10 times than the Google stocks at the same time period. So obviously, Apple is definitely more popular for those guys who are investing. So next. We also did the same thing for the stock volume, which is we're trying to find what kind of dates the trading volumes are at the highest 25% for both Google and Apple stocks. What we found interesting is that while we started stock volume, so first of all, we want to know the trading activities for both stocks. And also, if we have the data for share outstanding, we could calculate the turnover rate to try to see the liquidity to help us to better understand the trading activities after these two stocks. However, we do not have those kind of information, but it's just an idea we could think about in the future. So some features we find is that for Apple, it has a relatively high trading volume during the February and March for all 3 years, and the same thing happened to Google for each April. So one thing we think about that would affect us is because the Apple usually launch their new products. So we actually did some study and found out every time the Apple launch a new product, the trading volume increases dramatically. For example, in 2011 February, iPhone launched iPhone 4, which was considered a success in the industry. And 2012 March, they launched iPad 3. And of course, the Retina MacBook Pro launch is very popular because of the Retina display. Next. Now, that's all I want to say about the first problem. And now let's move on to the Black-Scholes model for option pricing. By the way, can you go back? If you guys don't recognize, these two guys are Black and Scholes when they're young. And next. So we're going to divide this agenda to two steps. First is the class construction, and the second one is the result analysis. And go back. So this one is actually Black when he's older. And this one is Scholes, I think so, just for something fun. And next. So I wanted to describe the way how we construct our codes first. So we set up the variables first, and then we did some constructor by using both the general constructor and the copy constructor. We also did setting and getting method, and we write the Greeks under other method, and we also do some operator construction. Go ahead. So here are just some screenshots for our codes. And you can see we have the variable set up. We have the constructor. The first one, can you go back? The first one is the general constructor, which has the data inputs in the brackets. And the second one is the copy constructor, which we do it by call by reference. And then we have the setting method, which sets the variables we need to use. And getting method, which helps us to get the values from the input. And other main method is basically you write our Greeks under those kind of methods and our operator. Now, Jingyuan is going to discuss the method we use to test it and some analysis about the result.
Okay, thank you. In my part, I'd like to test all the methods we have established in the class. First, we should examine the constructor. So this is code and this is result. We set the private variables at this number, which is required by the professor. And after that, we did the calculation of the option price with Greek letters and print out the results out. And here's the results. Second one is a copy constructor. Here we copy the private variables number to another class, which is option 2. And we did the same calculations, and then here's the results, which works well. And then we test the operator. The equal operator try to also copy the value of one class to another. And here is we set another class, which is option 3, and did the same calculation, and this is the results. And finally, this is the operator equal. And here it is used to justify whether the class is equal in my way, which is if the private variable in the class which is set before are equal, and if you print out the sentence like the two operations are equal, other than the operation are not equal. Here we set the different number to another class, and here's the result. The two operations are not equal, which works well. And finally, I want to examine how the option price and the Greeks changed as the stock price changed. Here is the code. We range the stock price from 40 to 100 and give out the option price and all the Greeks we have. And I will make some intuition understanding of all these Greeks, because I assume not all of you have really familiar with Greeks. This is the output of our program. This is only part of it. The format is like this. So for the first one, we only take the example of a call option. For this one, the option price will goes up when the stock price going up, because the option price is discounted payoff of the stock. So the payoff is equal to S minus K. When the S going up, the payoff going up, and discounted payoff will also going up. The second one is the data of the stock. Here we can see that when the data means it is the sensitivity of the option price to the stock price. So when the stock price going up far away from the strike price, the option price will change a lot. You can think it in this way, like when the payoff, the discounted payoff, the discount factor is is the same, and if the numerator is really big, and the discount when it's really big, and the change of it will largely affect the final price of the final option price. The next one. And this is the rho of the stock. Rho is the sensitivity of the option price to the interest rate. So when the R interest rate mainly affects the discount rate, we can see that when the interest rate or when the stock price going up and far away from the strike price, it's like a tail. When the tail is really far away, and when you discount that amount of money to the present, and that amount of money will largely affected by the discount rate, so that when the stock price is really high, and when it discounted back to the present, it will largely affect the option price. Finally, the gamma is the sensitivity of the data to the stock price. We can this is the slope of the data, the delta, and we can go back to the first page of delta. We can see that this one. Here we can see it's changed really fast and really slow, and at around the K. Around K, the delta will change really fast around the K. So next one. Finally, the theta. Theta is the sensitivity of the option price to the what? The time to maturity. So it is called as time decay. When the option price when the stock price is far away from the strike price, we can see that it doesn't matter whether the time maturity is big or low, because it is not that largely affected by it. And finally, it is bigger. Bigger is sensitivity of option price to the volatility. We can see at around the K, the option price will be largely determined by the volatility. I can draw a graph about it.
Oh, I'm running out of battery. You guys got to go a little faster.
Okay.
Like in general, all the groups.
This is a lot. Okay.
Just because they're like, you guys are taking like 25 minutes each
Okay.
to half an hour. It's kind of great.
Here is the drift. Drift we can something like this, and the fluctuation is the volatility. When it approaches to the K, and here it is whether it is in-money option or out-of-money option will be determined by the volatility. The drift, if you are here and volatility cannot take your option to here, it's not that possible. And when you came here, it's really sensitive to the volatility. That's the reason why when the stock price is around the K, which is the strike price, it will be really sensitive to the volatility. That's it. That's the analysis of the bricks. So do you have any question about our